This is an interesting thing that has occurred, to say the least. Especially when you look at like yesterday's punch in the mouth to gold and silver from the club, the cartel. But there is a company, Pan American Silver, and they have announced 2 days ago that just 3 weeks after it announced that it had implemented hedges for a significant amount of its gold and silver production, it had decided to remove the hedges. This was a stunning and rapid reversal of a big financial decision, according to silver doctors. One of the primary Wall Street firms that advises Pan American Silver is J.P. Morgan. J.P. Morgan has spent the better part of the last 9 months eliminating its massive manipulated short position in COMEX gold and silver contracts, and has actually amassed a considerably large long position in gold contracts. He says, "My best bet is that J.P. Morgan advised Pan American Silver that, based on what it knows as an insider to the precious metals market worldwide, putting on those hedges was not a good idea, and they would pay for it dearly later." This latest move by Pan American Silver further confirms Silver Doctor's view that the metals are making some time here, ostensibly under the next FOMC meeting, Federal Reserve, next Tuesday/Wednesday, before they begin to make a move to the upside that will take everyone except the hardest of precious metals investors by surprise. So, if Pan American Silver, let me get my seatbelt on so I can get on out of here. If Pan American Silver is advised by J.P. Morgan and told, don't put those hedges out there, it's not a good idea, not now, and Pan American Silver says, okay, well, we respect you, you always advise us, there's something to be said about that. Now, is it possible that Pan American Silver, since it is advised by J.P. Morgan, that they have something to do with whatever their silver production is, that possibly they've got something to do with producing it for companies like J.P. Morgan on the via COMEX purposes? J.P. Morgan's a manipulator, but COMEX, maybe SLV, maybe they're one of the big suppliers to them. I don't know. I'm just going to throw that out there. And if they go putting all these hedges out there, they're going to get in big trouble when the prices start to rise, for sure. So, if J.P. Morgan realizes this company could get slaughtered and thus potentially go bankrupt, close down, due to having these hedges out there that blow up in their face, because J.P. Morgan knows the market's going to be going up sometime in the near future, which would also mean this company gets destroyed, can't produce the silver that they need to put these fires out on COMEX and whatnot, then that would make sense to me as to why J.P. Morgan would tell them, nah, don't put any hedges out there. Now, the other side of this, which I just had a conversation similar to this with a friend of mine at work, just literally yesterday or the day before. And we were talking about all these silver mining companies and the fact that they're posting losses, so that cannot be sustained. Obviously, the price of silver cannot stay in the 20 plus dollar range. It's got to be in the 30s minimum. And I remember even seeing some of the reports back when silver was $30 and $32 an ounce, and that did not appear to be good enough for these silver mining companies to do well. So it seems like it's got to go higher than that, obviously. But what this conversation we had was a little bit opposite of what I just said. So the conversation was basically, if a silver mining company takes the beating too long on these low prices, like any company getting hurt for some length of time, they're going to have to, do something. And I don't know, to tell you the truth, I don't know if these mining companies are forced, I don't think by law or anything, but are they forced just because of the way they do business or whatever? You know, in other words, because you're a mining company, that they have to forcefully sell their gold and silver for whatever the market price is. You know, that's what I'm getting at. And I don't know the answer to that. But long story short, no matter what, that's what they all do. And my friend said, well, why can't they just say, look, we're taking losses. We're not going to sell it for the market price. That's it. Call the people we have contracts with and tell them this is the new price of silver. End of discussion. So I thought to myself, well, which I actually didn't mention this. I probably should have mentioned this because I guess I didn't think of it at the time, but I'm thinking about it now. What if they have contracts with everybody, which they do, obviously, the people who, you know, the refineries and whatnot, and the contract explicitly states, both parties, you can only sell your silver for the market price, and we, the refineries, can only buy it for the current market price. Thus being said on the COMEX. That's very possible. And as a matter of fact, I would not doubt that that's not the case. That's probably exactly the case. Therefore, their hands are tied. They can't make the price rise. So what are they doing? Places like Pan American Silver, who doesn't want to take losses, says, I'm going to go hedge on the markets silver. Just like a farmer can go hedge whatever crops he's selling, like in real life, physical crops, he can go hedge. If the prices aren't doing too well for him, he's going to lose money, he can actually hedge the difference on Wall Street, aka basically the COMEX, so that if he has any losses when he actually sold his product, he can have gains via Wall Street. Therefore, it kind of cancels each other out, but he's okay because he didn't lose, he didn't win, he's just where he needs to be. That's what the point of technically what a hedge should be. Now, JP Morgan hedging is strictly manipulative, so there's a big difference there. But, you know, it's not a farmer trying to save face and keep surviving, so he has to get a hedge. No, this is JP Morgan that doesn't need silver, doesn't need gold, simply flat out, we're going to hedge, because that's what they do, the manipulators. So my point is, what if JP Morgan decides, Pan American Silver, yeah, we're your friends, at least you thought we were your friends, and you thought we were giving you good advice, such as don't hedge, prices are going to be exploding basically soon, and we like you, so trust us, don't hedge, the prices are going to be going up. Now, it is possible that that's exactly what that was. They are partners, you know, for some reason or another, therefore JP Morgan's not going to screw their buddy. But if you recall, when companies like Lehman Brothers and stuff collapse, guess who's there to scoop them up for pennies on the dollar? JP Morgan. That's what they've done throughout history. So this is the other side of me talking here. Is it possible that prices are going to go down a lot more? That Pan American Silver Company is going to wish they did in fact get those hedges, and will be forced to lose and go bankrupt. And old JP Morgan will say, well, yeah, I know we advised you. Of course, you don't have to listen. And we're not perfect, so sorry about that bad advice. But now that you're going bankrupt, we'll buy you for pennies on the dollar at, I know your stock was worth, I don't know, I didn't look, but, you know, $30 a share. And now that you're bankrupt, we'll do what we did with the other guys. We'll give you $2 a share. Now, everyone else is offering you $1. We'll give you $2. Make it sound like they're really doing something for them. And then they'll accept it, because what else does a bankrupt company do? Take nothing and die off, or actually take something and save at least a tiny bit of face and have a little bit of money for the owners and higher ups in the company especially, as well as their own company members, you know, the employees that had shares, plus the shareholders, out, you know, the average citizen who invested in the company. So you can at least tell them, look, I know it was 30, but at least you're getting $2 back. That's better than nothing. So anyways, that's another possibility, that silver is going to go down more, and JP Morgan's going to go buy up this company as soon as it fails. But I don't know what they're going to do. Is that what they're going to do? Or does JP Morgan, you know, maybe one of their pals runs the company. They're not going to do it to the company. They're not going to screw them. And they're giving him legitimate advice. Don't hedge right now. Not now. There's too much crap going on behind the scenes that we can't tell you about in the silver and gold market. But trust us, we need you. So don't hedge right now. Take my advice. Prices will be going up. Okay. Sounds good. You've never steered us wrong before, pal. So we'll go ahead and listen. It's possible that that's what's happening. So again, it's without being an insider, you don't know. Even if you worked at Pan American Silver, I still would not take you as an insider. You really need to be high level JP Morgan for me to take your word as an insider, because they're the ones who call the shots. And you may have your head on the chopping block thinking you've been a partner with JP Morgan for all these years. They would never do something like that to you. You've worked with them for years, only to find out that they just cut your head off, took your company for $2 a share. Get out of here. Sorry about that. Life isn't fair. Nobody said life was fair, when in reality, life can't be fair when there are certain entities out there who are rigging things, causing your life not to be fair. Not coincidentally. So when people say that term, life isn't fair, nobody said life was fair, that implies that there's a natural thing. You know, things happen to people, it's coincidental, that life isn't fair. No one said you'll keep your job for, your whole life. Life isn't fair, go find another job, right? No one's taking into consideration that things that other very tiny handful of people, literally these elitists, 1%ers, are doing is actually causing all this stuff. It's causing your life not to be fair, right? It's causing you to use that term. This sucks for me, man. I didn't deserve this. This isn't happening. Life isn't fair. Suck it up. And you know who the first one to say that would be? JP Morgan and the banker friends. Life isn't fair. So that's my 2 cents on this interesting report on Pan American Silver. Take care. Oh, well, you kept wondering why I was looking behind me. I bought me a little miniature-sized commercial grill. After working at the smokehouse in Tennessee for several months, 6 months, whatever, I realized that there ain't nothing like cooking on a commercial, flat-top, thick steel grill. Because when you're cooking at home on pots and pans and things like that, they're thin. So you go and put a Philly cheesesteak or something on there, right? And a little slab of meat or something. You may have had it set at 360, 50 degrees, something like that. As soon as you put that cold food on there, it cools the pan off immediately. You may be down to 275, 250 in a heartbeat. So it's not going to cook the way it really should. So when you have one of them puppies, it takes it 25 minutes to heat up, 20, 25 minutes. But when it does, you can just keep loading it with food and it will keep cooking it. And I've been making me some Philly cheesesteaks that are unbelievable. So I brought some to work today for the boys and my boss as well. We're gonna have somewhat of a cookout here, commercial grill style. So I forgot if I put my tailgate down or up, and I wanted it up so nothing would slide out. That's why I was looking behind me, because it was hard to see through the window. Anyways, that's a little bonus material for you. Take care.